And boys, we are back here with another Madden video. Today, what I got for y'all is talking all about abilities.
Before we get into today's video, I do want to talk about our sponsor real quick, MMOEXP.com. If you guys want an alternative to buying packs, consider buying coins at MMOEXP and make sure to use code DILLA checkout for 5% off your order.
Now, if you guys did miss it, we did get an AP update where we got 1 AP on offense and we got 2 AP on defense. Now, on offense, we're going to have kind of all the same setup, but different quarterbacks. Defense, there's a lot we need to talk about. We're going to get started right here talking about offense and of course quarterback. And the quarterback that I just want to use as an example, I think this can fit a couple different quarterbacks, but Joe Burrow, I think overall is probably the best ability quarterback, not the best quarterback in the game, but the best ability. And what do I mean by that? So we're gonna go over to the ability tab right here where he gets gunslinger for 2 AP. On top of that, you can also run the master tactician for 4 AP and of course gift wrapped for 1 AP. I think this setup right here is what you really want. Like getting master tac is very key. Getting the how run master side of things, getting the QB playmaker, getting the conductor, all 3 abilities that make a master tac huge. And in total right now, this is 7 AP, right? So you have an additional 2 AP to play with now. And some cards that I do just want on the team, it's going to be 1 right here at running back. I really like Dameon Pierce just being on the team. Dameon Pierce, what makes him special is, of course, we're not talking about stats today. We're talking all about abilities. Goal line back for 0. And I think this could be your starting running back. Like this is my starting running back. He can be a running back 2 for you. And you just sub him in when you are within the 5-yard line, right? So yeah, I think Dameon Pierce should just have a role on your team now. Like I said, we have 2 more AP to spend. How do we want to spend it? Well, in my opinion, what you can do with Joe Burrow is you can surround him by at least 2 players that are great at beating man coverage. And the examples that I want to use today on offense are going to be tight end Zach Ertz. Now, again, right here, what makes Zach Ertz special? Again, not the fastest at this point, but this is a card that does get the 1 AP short and elite, which I think this for the tight end is, I don't want to say it's a guaranteed man beater, but it's about as close as you're going to get if you do play the man coverage. And there's certain times where I feel like shade down 2 man, sometimes it could get you for a couple of games. So getting some consistency with beating man coverage, I like this a lot. And yeah, that's why Zach Ertz is going to be a tight end that we talk about. And also as well, I think a good place to have another short and elite, of course, is a slot receiver where you could go Adam Thielen, but Adam Thielen's price, man, $855K. He is better than the card that I'm going to say, but I'm just going with the cheaper option. For an example, we're gonna go TJ Husmanzada for 200K, and he's 1 speed point slower, same height. Like I don't think Adam Thielen's gonna be 600K better, but again, TJ Husmanzada, this is another card that gets short and elite right here. And I really like just this base ability setup right here. You have gunslinger, master tac, gift wrapped on Joe Burrow. You have 2 short and elite receivers. Have a goal line back at running back. Like I like this a lot. Now there's some other things you can do, just talking about the Joe Burrow setup as well, and we're gonna cover them. Like we'll do like running back 2s and stuff right here, where maybe you want a human joystick running back, right? I understand that. And my favorite one for like their price is going to be James Cook. And James Cook is another player that, guess what, 1 AP human joystick right here. So this would just replace one of the short and elite players. And that's what you could do at the running back. Again, I don't mind human joystick at all. Besides that, I mean, maybe you want 1 AP red zone threat. I don't really think that's worth it. You could also at the same time as well as say, you know, TJ Husmanzada, Zach Ertz, they obviously aren't the best cards in the game. You could get a better player, but they'll get short and elite for 2 AP, right? So at tight end right here, we can go ahead and go with Dalton Kincaid. And Dalton Kincaid, of course, better from a core rating standpoint than Zach Ertz, but he does get the short and elite for 2 AP. So again, that would mean TJ Husmanzada, Zach Ertz not on the team, Dalton Kincaid the starter with Joe Burrow. And if we want to do the same thing for receiver, we could go ahead and pick up Lad McConkey right here, who again, I would say a little bit better from a core rating standpoint than TJ. Is he that much better? No, but this is another card that, guess what, gets the 2 AP short and elite. And again, if you want to run him, it would just be him on the lineup instead of TJ and Zach Ertz and Dalton Kincaid now. But yeah, so this is like what I think overall the best abilities you can put on the field, like the most amount of just abilities. Now we're going to change one thing, okay? So first off, we're going to go ahead and get rid of the 2 AP short and elite guys, and we're also going to cover a different quarterback right here because I think there's another way to go about it, and that's going to go ahead and be Lamar Jackson right here. So Lamar Jackson, of course, one of the most mobile quarterbacks in the game. Like using Joe Burrow, you don't really get the best release in the game, and you also don't really get the best mobility, right? And Lamar does get the 2 AP slinger. he does not get master tactician, but he can get halberd master. I think running conductor is really nice, but say for instance you just wanted to run 6 AP on your quarterback, guess what, then you can go ahead and do the short and elite human joystick combo. Running backs, like, you have a ton of options, but I would go conductor, and I would also go gift wrapped right here, and this would be 8 out of your 9 AP. With Lamar Jackson, this style of quarterback, right, I would just again go one of the short and elites, whether you want it to be a slot receiver, whether you want it to be a tight end. I would say the most important like route in your offense, the most important player, that's the position I would run short and elite on. And finally right here for another quarterback, this is like overall like probably the best quarterback. I still think like Josh Allen, Michael Vick, even RG3, all are just amazing quarterbacks in the game. We'll use Josh Allen as an example because they're all kind of right by each other, but there's a card that doesn't get discounts, but overall probably like maybe the best quarterback in the game still. Master Tack, Gunslinger. And now with this card right here, I would just run gift wrap. So that would be all 9 of your AP on Josh Allen. And if you want to use this style of quarterback, you don't get another short and elite, which I don't hate the fact that you saying, guess what, you don't need it, right? Like, you don't need this to beat man coverage. I just like it because it's a little bit more consistent. You have a ton of options on offense, but I think the big thing is getting that master attack gunslinger combo on your quarterback. Let's go to defense right here, where we are going to have just the base lineup. I think no matter what you are doing in this game, I think you want mid-zone knockout on your 2 outside corners and your 2 top safeties. Okay, I think that is the bare minimum. Now we will go over the best possible abilities, so that includes Derwin James being a top safety, right? And we'll talk about how that changes things. Like, if you guys can't afford Derwin, like say you're rocking Cam Chancellor or Justin Simmons, the reason why Derwin's here, of course, is the 0 AP mid-zone knockout, right? So that is huge. Getting that for 0 AP is insane. And at corner 1 right here, we're going to want Carlton Davis. Reason for that is Carlton Davis at the bare minimum gets mid-zone knockout for 1 AP. And at cornerback 2 right here, we're going to use a roster revolution token spot right here, and that's going to be Gilly Lock with mid-zone knockout for 1. I will say I don't believe there's a way to get this token besides spending money in the game, which I hate, and I wish you were able to just get the tokens for the players. It kind of makes everyone besides one player irrelevant from this promo, and again, you still have to spend money for it. So I know it sucks, and maybe we shouldn't cover stuff on Gilmore, but again, we can talk about how it changes things. Say Marlon Humphreys right here, it would be an additional AP, right? Free safety wise, we're going to have Malcolm Jenkins just as the base. Okay, so this is the base lineup right here, where we are spending 3 out of our 12 AP. Okay, what are your options that you can do? Well, guess what, you can go ahead and get more mid zones on the field. Like, this is where it depends. Okay, what defense are you running? Because we're going to cover some mid zone knockout players, and it's like, do you run 6-1? Because if you run 6-1, you're going to want 3 linebackers with mid zone and just these 4 pieces in the secondary. If you run dollar or dime defenses, you're going to want 2 CBs with mid-zone and probably 2 sub linebackers also with mid-zone as well. I would say it is nice to be able to run multiple different defenses, but I think you got to make a decision which one you really want to run. With like a dollar type of defenses, this is where Marlon Humphrey comes into play, where we get mid-zone knockout for 2, and also we can run like Chris Harris as well, just using them as an example for mid-zone for 2. Now we're at 7 out of 12 AP on defense. And if we need 2 sub linebackers, right, we're going to use Brian Bosworth because, again, it's the mid-zone for 1. Then we can also go Peyton Wilson right here, who gets mid-zone for 1. So this right here is like overall, like we have 9 out of our 12 AP. And this right here is like just everything covered. And if we want another linebacker with mid-zone, we could get it. And if you guys are ever curious too, I just want to cover this too. If you go to mut.gg and you just click on like the mid-zone knockout ability, you guys can see every single player that has a discount, right? So yeah, all these players get 1 AP mid-zone. And so this right here is just like a base lineup of you want mid-zone everywhere, right? Now we have an additional 3 AP to spend, and me personally, this is what I would do. Okay, if I was running this type of lineup right here, we're going 3 double or nothing players, and that's going to go ahead and be Joe Klecko right here, double or nothing for 1 defensive tackle. We're going to go ahead and go DeForest Buckner, again, double or nothing for 1 AP. And then at left end right here, we can go Matthew Judon as well, another 1 AP double or nothing player. And this right here is your AP. We have 11 players, all with abilities. I mean, this is top end lineup in the game. Now, I think there's a different way to go about things, and we'll talk about it. So I really like the Dons on the D line. I think bare minimum you want one at DT. Something that I would change with this lineup potentially, right? We would go no mid zones in the slot. Okay, so let's go like Ted Hendricks and Julius Peppers, just building out the team so you guys get an idea of what I'm thinking, because I love the height on these guys. These are still probably my 2 favorite slot DBs in the game. That just freed up 4 AP for us, right? What can we do? Well, also at the same time, maybe I don't want to run mid zones on my linebackers, okay? That goes ahead and frees up 6 AP for us. And for me, my thought process right here is, guess what? Let's just go ahead and run the pick artists now. Let's do mid-zone pick artists on a bunch of different players, or as many players as we can. And we can do that on Stephon Gilmore as well. Now we're up to 9 out of 12 AP. We can do it on Derwin as well. And like I said, we don't need Don anywhere besides the DT spot. Guess what? We can go ahead and put it on Malcolm Jenkins as well. So yeah, this is what your lineup could look like with all like pick artist players. And then what we could do right here for sub linebackers, we could go Brian Crushing right here as a middle linebacker. And this is a card that would just be someone that catches interceptions, 0 AP lurk artist. And then we can run any linebacker in the game pretty much right here. What we're going to do with him is we can just say, you know what, let's just use Nakobe Dean as an example. Doesn't really matter who you have here. We can run lurk artists for one. So these two guys are going to catch their interceptions. The only players on your defense right now that are not catching picks, at a high clip, it's going to be your 2 slot DBs, right? I feel like those are really the 2 main setups that I wanted to cover. I think you have a ton of different ways to go about things. I just really prioritize mid zone everywhere on defense. Now also right here, I would probably lean a setup like this. And again, say for instance, you can't afford Derwin James. Just instead of running pick artists right here, you can run like Justin Simmons with 1 AP mid-zone knockout if you have the token, or you can just run Cam Chancellor 2 AP mid-zone. Besides that, really, this is just the setup that I would lean for this game right now. You have mid-zone pick artists on, I think, the most important players to get it. You still have giants in the slot as well. Like, I'm very high on Ted and Julius Peppers. DeForest Buckner in the interior as well. I think he is great too. And yeah, this is really all the setups that I really wanted to cover today. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys are running anything different. And again, today, I just want to say this. I should have probably said this at the beginning of the video, but don't necessarily think this as like a player thing. Think of this as abilities. We're not necessarily saying the best players to run, because again, would I run Joe Burrow? No, but technically, like, probably gets the best abilities in the game. Like, I still think run Josh Allen over him makes a ton of sense. Do I think TJ Husmanzada or Zach Ertz are the best at their position? No, but they get some great abilities for their position. And a lot of times there is a lot of carryover, like Malcolm Jenkins, Derwin James, Gilly, Carlton Davis, DeForest Buckner, Brian Crushing. Like, I think all of those are best at their position type of players because of their abilities, of course, and also they do have some good core ratings. But yeah, boys, this has been my thoughts on my favorite ability setups in Madden 25 Ultimate Team. Again, let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know if I missed anything in this video. But if you guys did enjoy this video, you enjoy content like this, want to stay updated with everything that's best here in Madden 25, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Madden 25 Ultimate Team content just like this. Now, if you guys do want to go ahead and see me use these cards live on stream, have been streaming on both YouTube and Twitch. To watch on YouTube, make sure to hit that noti bell as well. You'll be notified every time I upload or go live here. Or if you guys want to watch on the Twitch, check the links in the description, hit that Twitch with a follow. But if you guys do want another video to watch, check out this one right here.